Are you ready? From the University of Michigan. Yeah. From the University of Michigan, San Francisco 49ers, Stanford University, right? This guy's been around the planet, okay? Offensive line play the Michigan way, okay? Tim Drevno.
What do I got, 45 minutes?
Yeah. Stick this in your pocket.
Yes, sir. I got it right here, babe. Thanks, Bob. All right. Hey, thanks, guys, for having me, Bob. Thanks so much. It's an honor to be here. I truly, being an offensive line coach, being like you guys, it's a truly kingsmanship. It's a truly craft to be able to do this. And it's an honor standing in front of you guys because it's passionate to coach the offensive line, right? Not everybody wants to coach the O-line. They think we're weird. I embrace it. I love it. I love what I do for a living. So it's been great. We just got back. I've been out in spring recruiting, but we got back. Everybody saw that we went to Rome, Italy. Unbelievable experience. We took the team over there for 7 days. We took 99 players. We practiced 3 times. We ate lunch with refugees, gave them a bunch of gear. We went to walked the city of Rome, went to the Colosseum. What's up, Cam? We went to the Vatican. What an experience. A lot of our players are staying over there studying abroad. So we thought it was just a great opportunity. I want to share that with you. If you guys are in college, you ever have an opportunity to take your team over to somewhere in a foreign land, do it. That should not be cut out. It's an enriching of the soul, the spiritual, everything. It was a great opportunity for us. And there's so many people over there playing American football. We did a clinic for 90 football coaches over there, which was awesome. So it was a really cool deal. Today I'm going to talk about auxiliary runs. And why I chose auxiliary runs is everybody's got the tight zone, everybody's got the wide zone, everybody's got the gaps, the ISOs. These runs to me are kind of a change-up punch. I look at the run game at the University of Michigan the same way that I look at the pass game. Right? You sit in the room, you put your pass game together, you got different personnel groups, you got different formations, you got different motions. We're going to do it all at Michigan. Okay? We want to keep people off their toes. So what I did here was the run game for the last 2 years, okay, in 2015, 2016, you can see 22 personnel, 21 personnel, 12, 11, 23, 31, 13, and we did all those concepts right there. Okay? People say, hey, you're a gap scheme. Hey, you're an ISO scheme. Yeah, we are, but there's some stuff that we're going to do to change up and give you a 1-2 punch. Okay? The isolation scheme, we did it out of all these formations last year. 2x2, 3x1, slot, bone. We did it out of all these personnel groups in the last 2 years. The gap scheme, the same way. 22 personnel, 21, 11, 12. We did it out of wing and cozies out of 22. Pros, slot, 2x2, 3x1, and unbalanced. Okay? In college football, you can cover up an eligible, right? In college football, correct? In pro football is different. You got to report yourself, but unbalanced is a good formation to use in your run game, especially be able to throw out of it, because people usually have one way that they set up in it. Okay? That's the same thing with 22 personnel. Most people, and U personnel, what we call it, okay, will play 2 fronts and 2 coverages. You usually get the same thing over and over. Okay? So there's some things that we like to do at 22 to try to take advantage of different things. The tight zone. Okay, the last 2 years. These are different personnel groups. These are different formations. The perimeter. Okay? You can see the personnel groups and the formations we did at the last 2 years. Quarterback driven. In my mind, even if you don't have a quarterback that can pull the ball and disconnect and do something, you got to show it on film. Because defense is usually what they do. These defensive coordinators, they don't want to blitz you as much. Right? They're going to worry about the gap exchange. You got to be able to dabble in some quarterback-driven things, which is huge in the run game. Okay, you can see wide zone, different personnel groups and different formations. The auxiliary runs. This is what I talk about, the auxiliary. I listed up there the blast play. I'm going to cover it. That's where we're whamming the nose, the big nose guard. Okay. When I look at auxiliary runs, I look at it as matchups. This game's about matchups. So if I got a chance to be able to go to hammer a nose tackle or come down and crack an end, that's slowing their ass down. If I got a chance on the far right here, you'll see the fly sweep here in a little bit. If I got a chance to do a fly sweep, that's making those big guys on the D-line run sideline to sideline. I'm trying to wear them out. So a lot of these auxiliary runs is trying to take advantage of, and in my mind is getting medieval on somebody and trying to hit a guy from the side to slow his ass down that he doesn't know all the time, hey, it's a gap scheme coming at me. This is a double team. We're trying to build angles on the defense. We're trying to build angles on the defense. Right here, I'm going to teach you the blast play, okay? In this situation here, this is an isolation scheme, okay? In this right here, you can see there's a fullback's going to go blast the low technique, okay? Over to the right here, as you look at this scheme, in my mind, it's just like tight zone, okay? Right here, it's just like tight zone, okay? So the right guard, right tackle, or right guard, tackle here, or excuse me, right tackle, tight end are working up to the Sam linebacker. The center's going through for the Mike. We're going to go ahead and step to that down the middle of the right guard to that 3 technique, okay? And we're going to do a combination on the back side where that left tackle is going to go through the inside armpit. The guard's going to dangle the carrot and build the wall on the inside shoulder. You can see here that the halfback here is going to read the 3 technique where the dot is. Then the second level vision is going to go to the Mike. Again, you can run this. We want to run it to low technique and be versus odd front. But this is a chance where that fullback now can go get the crescent in, what we call right at the hip level, go knock that shade, his ass sideways. But the good thing about this scheme, you're still running tight zone. Okay, on the backside it's a little bit different, and the fullback is going to wham the low technique. Okay, the quarterbacks open up just like it's tight zone. Okay, the halfbacks, his toes or his heels are going to be at 7.5. He's aiming at the outside leg of the guard. We're coming downhill. The receivers are going to go dig safety. Backside cutoff by the X. We're digging safety by the Z. Okay, this first shot here is versus an odd front. Okay, so on the backside, the left guard's going through for the inside armpit of the backside inside backer. The left tackle is going to dangle. He should be dangling his inside hand. Is going to build the wall on the inside shoulder. The center does a nice job here. Of building the wall on the inside shoulder. You can see him. Everybody see that? And he sets off his right hand to kind of dangle the carrot, let that nose tackle come up the field. The right guard, right tackle working this combination on a tight zone. Now, I'm going to tell you something about with run game. You go through this tape. We use a lot of different ball handling. Good, thank you. We use a lot of different ball handling, a lot of different stuff, and footwork by the halfback. I watch our linebacker coach, Don Brown, go over with our linebackers, and they do a key drill, right? And they look at the running back's course. They know when it's open crossover to the outside leg of the guard. Hey, it's tight zone. They know it's scissor step, right? Usually they know what some type of form of scissors is a wide zone. If you call it scissor step with the gap scheme, whatever it is. We are always continually changing our ball handling by the quarterback. Sometimes we reverse out, sometimes we open up, and we're always changing the running back's footwork. That's a key thing in my mind. Because people after a while will figure out what you're doing by your halfback and your ball handling by the quarterback. Big thing is we take pride in all 11 block, and I'd say number 1 here, don't do that, right? You don't want to do it behind the play. This kid, Ty Isaacs from Joliet Catholic. You guys know where Joliet Catholic is in Chicago? Great high school football program. This next look here, you can kind of see we're doing out of a slot. We're motioning the F. We're kind of building the illusion here that we got a 2x2 formation up. Okay, we're trying to build the illusion. So we'll do this and we'll match the same type of formation personnel group within our pass game. We try to match that stuff together. Here we're motioning the F down. Again, we're gonna go ahead and wham the low technique. Low technique comes up the field. Back makes a nice cut. In this situation here, now we're whamming the low technique. The center's going to go through and his aiming point's the inside shoulder. The key thing on the back side here with the left guard, left tackle is they want to open up their toe. And how I teach this is I want their inside hand or their outside hand, the sternum, and their inside hands that clasp to the shoulder be ready to high wall it. So in my mind, this guy shouldn't be stepping back with his inside foot. He should be stepping with the outside foot. And I'm going to teach this a little bit differently, okay? In this block by this left guard, okay, if this guy is touching my body any way whatsoever, I'm going to step vertical with my inside foot. My left hand's going to be at the sternum. My right hand's going to be on the shoulder. If this guy's off my body, I'm going to open up my toe and build the wall on the inside shoulder, okay? Here we got a FUP safety in the box. The center does a nice job, okay, realizing who he's working to here, the mic, okay, we'll let the free safety go. The other thing I'll say to you is this. In any game of football, you don't want wasted plays. So if you can have a chance in these auxiliary plays to run it to looks that your desirable looks, those are critical. Because in my mind, in college football, you got 20 hours a week. High school, I don't know how many hours you got. Pro football, you got a lot of time. But if you can limit these auxiliary plays and what you're teaching, okay, and have some type of a check system with them and get it to the proper looks, it's very, very critical. Very critical. He should be working up 67. He's with the Washington Redskins. Coach Callahan now is a free agent. That's Kyle Kalis. I love this formation. Okay, some people call it the cone formation. You saw the first couple looks I gave you, a lot of different formation personnel groups. We're doing this out of 12 personnel right here. But this is a great formation because something's going to happen. Either they're going to put 7 in the box or they're going to unravel some type of linebacker on the ball. Usually have some type of check for this formation. So in my mind, I look at this formation, hey, what can we do out of this week? How do they adjust to it? And it's unique. Here they're making a combination. This is a good job that's Alex Boone from Ohio State. He's working the inside shoulder there. This right tackle, Anthony Davis, should try to get my aiming point on this is the inside armpit. Good job by the left guard building the wall on the inside shoulder. Joe Staley does a nice job building the wall on the inside shoulder. Center goes through. Nice job by 49 coming. Like to try to keep them high here. Good job by the outside here, tight end working for the guy on the ball here. You can see the open crossover. Okay, we're reading the 3 technique by the back, and our eyes go to the second level by the halfback here. Again, we're building this 2x2 look like it's passed, but now we're in the pistol. Okay, so we're going to do some different backfield sets with this. We call it pistol here at Michigan. Okay, we could do it out of the gun. We're going to try to build it. And again, I said it early on, you got to be able to have some type of quarterback driven in your system because you're building here that there's a possibility of disconnection here. We're going to go ahead and blast the low technique, the wham and the low technique. They're working combination up here, the right guard, right tackle here, just like it's tight zone. He should be aiming dead center on him. Left guard does a nice job building the wall on the shoulder. That's the key thing is this guy's going to try to, he's going to try to work back over the top. This left guard's got to be able to be in position to stay on the inside shoulder. Now, in this particular look, the center does a good job. The nose tackle that the F's supposed to go ahead and wham crosses the center's face. He collects them, right? He collects them. Now the fullback goes through for the will backer. On this particular play, there's some moving parts to it when they do want to cross the nose backside. And we're using this pistol footwork, which they don't know, hey, are we reading the outside back or what are we doing? Because this looks like a quarterback driven for us. Nice job by the right guard. We're saying step to the play side number. Good job him getting him out. We're TOing the play side here. Good job by the left tackle. You can see here in this combination backside is getting his head to the inside armpit. Good job by the left guard. He's setting almost like, hey, we're working a slide protection, or setting off his inside hand to pull that nose tackle up the field. So now the fullback here can go get that guy. And that's a perfect deal. You want your head up the field, and you want it right on the crest of the line, which I'm saying is right there at the hip area. We're using open crossover footwork. Yeah, we do, and we call that a crunch series, which is coming up. Yep, Yep. And so what they'll be coming up where we're going to crunch the play side. We're saying a low technique, but in some situations when a team plays a 4-3 look and they have two wide ends, the play that Bob's talking about is where we're going to go ahead and crunch the 3 technique on the play side and use the same combination on the back side with the front side guard coming and cleaning up on the shade. So right here, this is the same play. Now we're doing it out of a 22 personnel, okay, where the fullback's going to get the mic. We're using the same fundamental on the backside with the left guard, left tackle. Now we're just swabbing to a spot. The front side tackle and tight end is always TO. Front side tackle and tight end, the right tackle, tight end is always TOing it. We're open crossover to the outside leg. We're getting ourselves in position. Now, where does that guy need to be? Every guy's different. The guy's going to wham the nose. Should he be in the B gap? Should his nose be on the butt crack of the guard? Whatever it is, everybody's different. Some guys like a little bit farther away, but the big key here with this guy that's coming to wham the nose, his head must be upfield. Head must be upfield. So you can see the right tackle, tight end, TOing it out. They're swabbing to a spot, the center right guard. The U's coming now, okay, for the low technique. And when you go in this 22 personnel, we call it big blast. Now the fullback's got the mic. But you can see the carryover with the technique by the left guard, left tackle here. The key thing with these plays, just with the time, is you want to work it to the best side you can do it. You're not going to have a lot of time to rep this in practice. So in my mind, you're going to do it one way or the other. You're going to do it right to the right, or you're going to do it to the left. We're making this call on the backside. Good job by the center. We're whamming the low technique here. Center setting off his right hand there, building the wall on the inside shoulder. Fullback's coming through for the mic. There he is on the mic, 49. He's whamming it. Away we go. You can see he's reading that right here. He's reading that 3 technique. He's running off the mic back or the halfback. Okay, one coaching point I'll make on this one is this. When motion happens, they might move. So we said the right tackle, tight end on a big blast scheme are going to TO here. When they move, now the right tackle, tight end, they need to see that and work up into the line here, because sometimes with the man coverage, this guy's going to go in motion with them. Nice job by Frank Gore here seeing the backside cut. Big blast scheme is very good versus the 4-3 front. Like it a lot. I think with these auxiliary runs is, you're running the tight zone, you're running the wide zone, you're running the gap scheme, you're running the duo play. But these runs here are great change up in different parts of the field where you're getting 3 or 4, now you're going to get them with an 8-yard, or you're going to get them with a 6-yard, or you're going to get them a 5-yard. It change up where it's different blocking schemes on these guys where it gives you an advantage. The next one is the crunch play. This was Bob was talking about. We're going to go ahead and crunch the 3 technique. This is a good one because this really puts the Mike backer in a pickle. Okay? We're aiming at the outside leg of the guard here with the halfback. We're working the same combination with the left guard, left tackle on the end of the wheel. Okay, now the guard, the play side guard's coming back to take the nose tackle off the center. They're working this combination, the right tackle, tight end, up to the Sam backer here. So now, instead of blasting the low technique, now we're crunching the 3 technique on the play side. Okay? Very good versus over teams, very good versus this bunch set. And what we tell the back here is you're going to open crossover, and we tell you to run the B-gap rail. So you want to run this as versus a 3 technique. It's coming right off the B-gap there. As this F receiver comes down, or F tight end comes down to crack the 3, you can see the center's always going through the mic. But look at the mic backer. He gets himself in a pickle. He's not sure what's going on here. Stay on the inside shoulder. He whiffs there. This was really good. This is 2011 versus Detroit. We got this 4-3 look with wide ends. These guys came off the field, and this Mike linebacker, I can't remember his name. Bob, you might know him, or Jim McNally. He said, hey, gosh darn, I don't know how to read this play. He was telling the center, I don't know how to read this play. And this got us some good mileage in this game by doing this. We're crunching the 3 to the left here. You can see we're using outside zone footwork. Again, we want our head up the field right at the hip level here. The center's going through for the mic. Okay, like for this right guard to set off his inside hand, he's trying to work for the inside armpit, the backside tackle. Left tackle's working up and through. We're running the B-gap rail. Right there it is. The great thing about these, the blast play, the big blast play, the crunch play, as we get to the big crunch, there's some carryover with this technique on the backside by the backside guard and tackle, which was nice for the concept. Again, running to the 3 technique. Center's going through for the mic, clubbing it. We want this guy try to get, now the play side tackle, he like to end up on the inside armpit of the linebacker. You can see him trying to backside tackle work from the inside armpit. My biggest thing is this. I try to teach landmarks, the hat placement. A lot of guys will talk about footwork, which is good. I work for a guy named Mike Solari. We coached the line together in San Francisco. He's a big believer. I completely believe in it in terms of, hey, if you tell a guy where his hat needs to go, his feet will follow. Which is, I really believe that. These guys need to know where their landmarks are, which is huge. The footwork is good, but you got to come off the ball. I really believe if you tell these guys too much footwork at times, they'll freeze and not play fast. This is the big crunch play. Now we're doing it at 22 personnel. Big crunch, big blast. You're always T.O. on the play side. Here, the right tackle, tight end. We're crunching the 3. The center's going through for the mic. The fullback will pick up the number 4 spot. Now we're doing this where we're crunching the 3 with the U at a 22. Okay, and the fullback's coming through for the mic. It complements the crunch play. Okay, backside receiver, he's got backside cutoff. You see the U coming over, trying to end up with his hat on the upfield. The center's going through for the mic. Backside guard, or the front side guard's pulling. He's head bobbing here. We kind of change it up week to week, try to hold him. We tell him to work on the inside armpit of that guy right there. The low techniques, left tackle's coming through for the inside armpit. Left guard does a nice job setting off his inside hand, running the B-gap rail. There it is. T.O. the play side. I tell you what, the key things, if you can blast these guys, you can crunch these guys, that will slow down the pass rush. I said it earlier when I was up here, but if you can do some stuff and get some shots on these guys, you know, and you hit their ass, they're going, what the hell? When am I going to get, they're thinking about it, right? And you do it early in the game, they might be thinking about it second, third, fourth quarter. I don't want to get my ass hit again. You know, because there's points at times you got to be able to throw the ball. You don't want the 3 technique pinning his ears back, getting his ass up the field and whipping you at the play side guard spot. We do at times as a specialty. We can. We can use it as a run action, which is good. If you run a lot of this stuff, absolutely, you want to complement this run game with your run action. Absolutely. This right here we call it Mike U slice, okay? This is where the fullback's got the mic. We're working to the weak inside linebacker in the box. This is where we kind of get a little bit medieval. It's very good versus under front, very, very good versus over front, okay? This is where we're going to go ahead and get the U coming back on the 3 technique and sending the fullback through for the mic. Very good at 22 personnel. And again, we're trying to come back to chop this 5 technique just to know him, hey, we're there, right? Again, try to slow it down for the other runs that you have in your system. The gap schemes, the ISO schemes, all those kinds of things. We want that guy to know, hey, we're there for the day. Just like we're crunching them, just like we're whamming them, whatever we're doing, we call this a slice play. So the center and the right guard here are working to the will backer, okay? The fullback's coming through for the mic. This is off tight zone. We're open up, crossing over. The U's coming back to chop the 5 technique. He should be just a little bit higher there. And then the fullback's coming through for the mic. These are all great plays to have in your system, and you pull them out. You practice them in training camp. You pull them out at different times of the year to help yourself out. And you know what? I'll live with this. They got a lot of dudes up in there, right? But I'll live with this. I want him to know, hey, we're there for the day, and I want these guys, yeah, you might get 2 or 3 yards, but at some point in time with the run game, you got to stay with it. It's going to give. I work for a head coach, Jim Harbaugh. He loves to run the football. He turns to me, hey, Drev, we're going to be able to grind some meat today. Hell yeah, we are. He wants to run the ball. That's how you physically oppose your will on somebody, running the ball at somebody to try to wear him down. So I can live with this. If we hit this thing up here for 2 or 3 yards, all right, but it sets up the next play because we chop that guy. You know, we're getting after some guys up front. They're going to take the punishment. It's one more hit they got to take. And that's my philosophy on it. Again, at 22 personnel, with most of the U. T.O. on the play side, U's coming back. He took him up high. Delaney, that's fine. We like for him to chop if we can. Nice job by the center, Exon for the will. Nice job by the backside guard here, washing the nose. Nice run by Frank. Okay, this is a fly sweep series, okay? I think this is unbelievable, this fly sweep. There's some yards out there in this fly sweep that we started getting into this past year. But the thing you got to do is, if you run the fly sweep, you got to be able to run the motion off of it and complement your runs. You can't just be one-dimensional, hey, I'm just going to hand the ball off every time. You got to be able to complement some type of motion in it where you're faking the fly sweep and then handing the ball off. This has got to be the easiest scheme, because when I you look at Pitt runs it, a lot of teams, different teams are starting to go in the NFL, people run it, you go, how the hell do they do that? It's as simple as could be. When I think of fly sweeps, I think of formation, I think of personnel groups, because up front you're just blocking tight zone. All you're doing is blocking tight zone. So in this case here, we're running to a Y and an F and the Z. We're blocking We're blocking tight zone to the left here. In this drawing, at times, in the fly sweep series, we'll cut that 3 technique loose. We won't block them. The guard will go ahead and flipper the 3 technique, this right guard. And then the tackle will climb for the Mike backer. They're working this combination to the will. Sometimes these spots will move, which are fine. They'll move. You just got to, I tell these guys, when you come off the ball, you just block what's in your spot. Okay? Because it comes spots. Here we're blocking the 3. By game plan, sometimes we might block them, sometimes we might not. The key element for these guys that are arcing is they got to get their hat on the outside half. Very similar as when you teach the wide zone. You're getting your inside shoulder, that guy's outside shoulder, you're getting your hat on the outside half. And the outside receiver has got to get his hat on the outside shoulder. Here, this is really good versus, again, putting in an unbalanced, covering up an eligible, handing off to the receiver. Okay, and then once again, coming at a U personnel, it can be really, really good running this because, again, they are packing the box. Teams start to pack the box. Hey, I want to get the ball on the perimeter. It could be a fly sweep. It could be some type of toss scheme. I'm going to do something to them, and this loosens them up. You can kind of see with this auxiliary run game is, hey, we're blasting a low technique. We're crunching the 3 technique. We're running the toss play. We're cracking an end. Right now, we're coming back and running the fly sweep again. In the scheme of things, I'm trying to wear their ass out up front. I'm trying to make those big guys run sideline, sideline that slows them down, okay? Okay, so now, what we taught this guy that's getting the ball, the snap point's the B gap. And every guy's different with the quarterback. Quarterback and the receiver, if it's a halfback, whoever you're putting out there, the snap point, okay, is the B gap. We've said here that you want to be 1.5 yards from the quarterback's heels. That's what we've taught them. You want to be 1.5 yards to the quarterback's heels. And these guys, as simple as this, coming back to this flank slot, all they want to do is they block the D and C gap. Everybody else is blocking tight zone to the right here. And he's doing it. He's giving the ball to the receiver, and then a great fake with the halfback and the quarterback on this. You'll find that some receivers can do this, some guys can't, okay? But again, you got to fake this motion and throw some type of pass off of it. Runs are very good off of it because these guys will start to fly and try to play the fly sweep. And you can run the tight zone by handing the ball off. So again here, we're just blocking tight zone to the right, center right guard working that spot. Okay? We're letting this guy dangle, we'll beat him. Okay, we'll let this inside guy, they're playing a little bit of a different front here, crashing the 3, crashing the 5. We're handing off, and then once he gets the ball, he's got a belly. Once he gets it, he's got a belly back from these defenders over to the left here. You can watch as we do this. Now we're doing that empty. We can pull any formation, any personnel group. You can make this illusion that, hey, I'm going to throw the ball out of this, right? And now you pull this, hey, I'm going to run a fly sweep out of it. Good thing about this, you get an empty, sometimes they got an empty check, right? They might go to a too high safety shell. Hey, it could be very good. Run the ball. Receiver, man-to-man, he's running them off. Once he stops, block him. The outside guy here, the tight end's going for the outside shoulder. He's trying to reach the outside shoulder here. They're trying to work this call here where they're sending this guy through, but the call where I said sometimes we don't block the 4-eye. Okay, he crashes, or the 3 technique, he crashes in front of the guard, so the guard takes him. He's just got to keep coming. Keep coming for that guy. Flatten your course. You see here, they're just blocking tight zone. Away we go. Sometimes right here, we tell these guys to go chop them. right? Because usually people that see that on film, DBs, they go, damn, they're coming out. They're chopping guys. You want to get on the outside half, we're chopping them. Or again, we're in an empty formation. He's probably, the receiver's a little tight here. I said 1.5 yards from the quarterback heels when he gets the ball. Then he wants to belly. We're just blocking tight zone up front. It's that simple. Probably wouldn't do that from the start here by the inside receiver. Later on, I changed it up. Sometimes we'll just release the tackle. He'll let that 4-eye go. He can go get in and go get his hat on the outside half of here of the outside guy. Here now, we shifted the YNF over. Then start the motion. You just got to be real careful, at times, if you run it back to the single receiver side, they might try to catch it or do something into the boundary. This is a pretty good exchange by 13 and the quarterback here. Good job by this tight end getting his hat on the outside half. Keep coming. Don't give up on it, receiver. Keep coming. You can see the different formations, personnel groups, motions you can do with this, don't you? It's pretty cool. Again, it's getting these guys running. We're just blocking tight zone up front. He needs to go. Don't mess with this guy. Go through. Later in the year, we changed it. Based just with the athleticism of the guy. Just going through, hey, we feel like this guy, if there's redirect, make the play. Yeah, and at times you can look at it, hey, this guy redirects well. This guy doesn't really redirect well. Hey, I'm running to this side. Hey, this 3 techniques is a badass. I better crunch his ass. This end's a badass. I'm going to come back and slice his ass. I mean, we're trying to always game plan to try to help ourselves up and try to create those matchups. We're going to unbalance here. The cool thing about it is you can do all sorts of different stuff with this, where you can start the guy in motion and bring him back. You can fake it and hand off the zone, like I said earlier. Good job by the two tight ends up top getting their hat on the outside half. Good job by the receiver, trying to battle his ass off on the outside shoulder. First down. We ran this in a 3rd down situation. This might be in a situation where we say, hey, we had 2 downs. Coach said, hey, you got 2 downs, Drev. Here we're doubling the 3. We like for the right tackle to come off. But, in this deal here, sometimes just make them come off and make them think that the ball's getting handoff, that we're running tight zone. That right there freezes that 50 guy, doesn't it? That handoff. And the great thing about this is when teams start to play your fly sweep, then you want to come back, run the fake fly sweep, and then run the tight zone. That's when backers start to overflow. The end starts to come up the field. Hey, that thing can cut back. It's a hell of a compliment. When teams start to play the fly sweep, come back with the tight zone and fake the handoff. The other thing is, see how they're going to play the fly sweep early in the game. Teams, if you run a lot of fly sweep, how's the end going to do it? Right? And it tells a lot of tales of different schemes you have in how they're playing the end that day. This is good here. We're doing out of double here, 2x2. We're doing out of off. This does complement some different things in terms of protections with your pass game, 3rd down, 2nd down. Hey, I'm going to get a situation. I'm going to get a 7-man protection. I'm going to have my tight end off the ball, yada, 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 right? And then now you're handing off a fly sweep. So it complements some of your formations that you do in the pass game. Like I said earlier on, we're trying to match that stuff. Here, this guy needs to keep going. I felt like this receiver can keep pressing outside and split it here between these 2 receivers right here, the tight end and the outside receiver. Combination, right guard, right tackle. Everybody's done it in tight zone. That's Pat Cougar. That's Sean Cougar's son right there. Everybody know Sean? Head coach El Paso, yeah, coach in the NFL. Kyle Kalis, Todd Kalis' son. This guy right here, Bob, he's going to be a hell of a player. He's going to be coming back for senior and move him out to tackle, the 52, Mason Cole. This guy's going to be good too. I felt like this receiver, use your blockers. When you belly it, he's got his hat on the outside half. Keep coming outside. I think there's a good shot for the wide shot. Right? You see it? Keep working it. Keep working it. Don't cut back in. Any type of these perimeter run plays, what we tell the ball carrier is this. You want to go hash, number, sideline. Hash, number, sideline. That's what we tell the ball carrier. Any perimeters, you want to go hash, number, sideline unless something tells you to come back inside. It's off the old option, right? The quarterback keeps it, hash, number, sideline. So we tell these guys. And the biggest key, any perimeter play, if you're on the backside, when it's time to pursuit, like in a toss scheme, you want to run to that side. You want to come across the field if you're in it. More of a toss scheme I'm talking about. Maybe just a tad deep. This right here, I really believe this is a 1-by-3 formation. This causes defense problems, doesn't it? Because they, just like when you get trips, they all want to bow to this side. They're going to bow the backers. They're going to walk safety down. This causes problems. When I'm looking at this run game and I'm matching the pass game to this run game, hey, I'm trying to find out what presents them problems for these auxiliary runs. I said it earlier. You don't have time to coach all the auxiliary runs that I just went through. But I got one or two of them I'm going to put in that week that I know, hey, I know what I'm getting. It could be the cone formation. It could be, more teams have a standard way they play this 1-by-3. Would everybody agree in the room? Because it's an oddball. It's not trips, right? It's not doubles. It's not pro. It's not slot. It's different. This is really good, especially when they're playing man covers, not rock and roll the safeties. This guy's got to chase them all the way. Great thing about it, you get some of that exotic third down, you got 2 downs to go for it, hand it off on a fly sweep, screw them. Maybe you can get it to 4th and 1, right? Convert on a 4th and 1. Again, 1-by-3 formation. One element over here. Leaving not blocking the end. Getting the hat on the outside half. Bellying it. Ball carrier's bellying it. We're blocking the 3 here. Left guard, left tackle in combination, tight zone. We're handing the ball off. We're faking to the halfback. We're letting the end dangle. That's why this is a key thing here. He's got a belly. Why we're telling him belly after he gets the ball? To get away from that end. He has to belly. The ball carrier has to belly. Do not stay flat. Once you receive the ball, belly. We say about 2 yards. Some guys naturally go 2.5. He needs to belly just a little bit more to pull himself away from that end. That little bit of space might help him get around the edge. Yep. No, yep. Just blocking normal. And why I did that was, again, not to put another thing on, hey, in this play, do this. Hey, my thought process, great question, Bob. My thought, hey, another chance we can work that combination, away we go. Because, hey, these guys, they're creatures of habit. You get underneath the chute, you do combinations. Hey, fit the double team. Hey, this is a guard tackle on the backside tight zone. Let's fit it, let's fit it, let's fit it. In my mind, I'm going to run the tight zone some point in time in the game. I want to know how that guy's going to fit, and I want them to have a damn feel how it fits. So I want to try to keep that all the same. At times, I'll let the 3 technique go to push that guy up the field, let that right guard slam the 3 and go. But earlier on, I said, you know what? These guys got to know how to double team a 3 technique on the backside of tight zone. So I just kept it the same. Okay, this is a fullback trap scheme. Okay, and you can see we're faking the fly sweep. Okay, we're faking where we're putting the Z and the snap points is a C gap, and he's splitting the fullback and the halfback. Okay, we're going to make a front call up front. We're going to make a 6 or 7 call here up front to locate how many guys are in the box for who to know how to block them. The guys up front. We're going to make that call. Okay. So here, this thing hits so fast, okay? The center's blocking back. The tackle should be going through to the inside armpit. Okay, we're trapping the 3. Okay, different ways we can do it. We can bring them all the way across, but we want to try to come out of the option phase. And again, you can see us sometimes you turn our film on, we might open up to the fullback. Sometimes we might reverse out. We'll do some different things with the quarterback in this ball handling, because the point I made, you got to change your ball handling. You can't use the same footwork. Guys will pick up on the run plays that you're running by the footwork by the backs and the quarterback's ball handling. I'm telling you. So this is a fullback trap. We're running the motion here. Look like the fly sweep's happening. The receiver and the halfback are getting in phase. Hits fast. They lose them. They lose the fullback, especially with all this French pastry. They don't know what's happening, right? I tell this guy to pin the shoulder, the guard. The right tackle should come through and get his inside hat on the inside armpit. He needs to get his hat on the inside armpit. He does a good job here, the left tackle. He sees the exchange by the end crashing and the wheel scraping over the top. He turns back on the left tackle. The guard needs to be tighter. I tell him to get his head inside 2 or 3 steps. You got to get work back into the line of scrimmage here. Hits fast, man. They lose him. You saw us reverse out on that last one. Now we're just opening up 2. We're getting an option phase. We're acting like we're throwing an option out the back door here. The key thing is we try to hit the back ass cheat of this 3 technique to try to propel him up the field. It's a technique that we use here by the tackle. He needs to be a little bit more forceful with his right hand. He's pinning the shoulder. Okay, he's coming through. The right tackle's coming for the inside shoulder or inside armpit. That's the key element on this block. When that 3 squeezes, that backside guard, he traps, he's got to bring his feet, his head's got to be up and inside, up the field. Very, very key element. You can see we got a big one here. He gets tripped up. But the key thing, he's got to explode on that guy and get his feet out of the hole. Good? That's it? Okay. Good. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Mike Gibson.
Well, here you go. I'll use that one, okay? Thank you. Guys, it's a real pleasure to be here. As Bob said, I've been in the CFL now for going on my 15th year, and I coached down here in college for 24 years. And my first experience at this clinic was in 2001. And many of the things that I believe and do in today and have done came out of this clinic. It's just a tremendous clinic. I was flying in today, and I was thinking to myself, we start training camp on Wednesday with our quarterbacks and rookies, and then the regular guys come in on Saturday. And I was thinking, this is my 39th training camp as a coach. And the only thing that means is I'm old, okay? I've been around a long time. And every year I look forward to coming to this clinic because I feel that if you can get 1 or 2 things out of a clinic, it is worthwhile. And tonight, I've already gotten a couple things, all right, from Coach. I thought it was tremendous. I asked him, I said, Coach, how much are you under the center and how much are you in the gun? He said about 75-25. Well, just so you understand, CFL football is three-down football, obviously. We're truly spread offenses. We play with tight ends who are really receivers, an extra offensive lineman, something like that. We're one of the only teams in the CFL as a tempo team. We do no huddle. We call everything at the line of scrimmage. And so we try to get fast tempo. We were pretty good this year. It was our first year in Edmonton. There's 9 teams in the CFL. My wife tells me my bucket list must be to coach at all 9 because I've made 6 of them so far. And I don't mean to take anything for Dan DeRazio. He's here from BC. And so, Dan, don't worry. I'm not trying to get your job because Dan's a legend at BC. He does a great job up there as well as some of the other CFL coaches who are here. And I feel very fortunate to be able to be in Edmonton. I coach a good group of guys. And now I believe this. You're only as good as the guys you coach. All right. We have ratios in the CFL. Bob had one of the best gigs going up there. I'm glad to see him leave because he played 3 Americans on the offensive line. And all the rest of us play 2 or less. So that means we're playing with Canadians at the other positions. And the guys who are coaching now, you understand what I'm talking about. But they're cheating when they play more Americans, okay? But my 2 Americans are offensive tackles. One I coached at the University of Louisiana, Lafayette, who we didn't re-sign this year, getting a little bit older. But we play with Americans at those positions. My background is that, I coached up there for 15 years. I've been a coordinator for 7 of the 15 years. And I'll be honest with you, it's the best job I have is just being the run game coach. It really is, because I believe you get to coach. I was a head coach in college football for 1 year in Canada. It wasn't for me. I didn't want to be a head coach, all right, because you didn't get to coach. You worried about keeping guys eligible and all those things. I want to coach football, and that's what I've been able to do. How many guys in here are not offensive line coaches, coach skill positions or something like that? Anybody? There's a few hands. Well, I commend you guys. All right, I really do. It's great that you're here. I think, you're going to find some things out. And I know our running back coach is here, Tim Princeton, who's a former offensive lineman in the league. And, Timmy did a great job with our running backs. And I feel this. I feel the best running back coaches are offensive line coaches. All right, because they understand run blocking, they understand protections. I think a guy can run or he can't run. You don't teach a running back how to run. All right, you teach him the other things. All right, and I think, that's just a sideline of me and what I believe. So you may not like something I'm going to say right now, you guys who raised your hands. All right, okay, I got it. Okay, offensive line coaches, they're the best teachers. I really feel that. You go to spring practice, you look, we're the biggest crowds. They're around the offensive line. All right, I believe to be an offensive line coach, you guys in here are offensive line coaches, you are great teachers because you have to be. Every year I come down to the United States and I visit people. In the springtime. This last spring, I went to Pittsburgh. And I'm going to tell you guys something. If you have a chance, I know John's in here. John, where are you at? John Peterson, the offensive line coach at Pitt. He's right there. Guys, if you have a chance to go visit somebody, go visit that guy. All right, I mean it sincerely. Here's how good it was. I was going to stay 2 days. It was scheduled. I ended up staying for 4. All right, a lot of the things that he did at Pitt, we're going to try to do as far as the fly sweep and marrying it with the inside zone. A lot of things that the coaches here talked about, but we're going to read the play. All right, we're going to read depending on how the defense reacts to the motion, if we're going to hand off the fly sweep or if we're going to run the inside zone out of it. So we're trying to get, take it to a different level. But John helped us a great deal in that regard. So I believe offensive line coaches are the best teachers. All right. There's no secret. You win with fundamentals. Somebody asked me why I like coaching the offensive line or how's it going this year in Edmonton. I have a reputation. I've been to the 6 of the teams. I have a reputation. I'm an old-fashioned coach. I'm an old guy. I'm an old-fashioned coach. All right? We drill fundamentals. While special teams are going on, we're working. Teams I've been at before, coach said, well, usually, they don't fight you, do they? Well, I've been some places where until they did it my way, they were fighting me. And luckily I stayed and they didn't. All right, but we're going to work, and we're going to work at the fundamentals over and over, and I believe that's what you do as an offensive line coach because that's what you win with. All right, we block looks. All right, we have rules, but I feel as the offensive line coach, my players, they have to learn the rules, and I teach them how to block the looks. All right, and I think that's very important. We have in, on, outside, over, all those type rules, but at the end of the day, your players have to understand how to block the looks you're going to see. And I feel that's your job as an offensive line coach to do that. And here's the most important thing. Volume is not the answer. All right? I swear on a Bible what I'm going to tell you is the truth, and you're going to say I'm full of shit. We play 18 games in the regular season. For the first 10 weeks of the season, we ran 2 running plays. And the reason that was, they weren't getting it, they weren't doing it like I wanted it to be done. We came into a new situation, a team that had just won the Grey Cup the year before, which is a Super Bowl up there. Their entire coaching staff leaves, goes to another team. A new coaching staff gets hired. Our head coach, it's his first time as a head coach, former player in Edmonton. He came in and he said, well, you were in Calgary. You did this in the run game. You're in charge of the run game. You do whatever you want to do in the run game, and I'll make it fit in the passing game. Now, we're 3-down football. All right? So really, relate it to this. As a play caller here, you're starting every series 2nd and 10. All right? You're starting every series 2nd and 10. So until we ran the inside zone like I wanted to run it, and Coach was talking, where's Brent at? Okay, he was talking, we track everything. All right? We're going to track it. And, you know, that's the big thing. My guys had a tough time. He's exactly right. Offensive linemen, they fight it at first because they're unsure of it. They don't play fast. They play high. All those things he said were very true. So I had to get them to buy into what I wanted them to do as far as the inside zone. And in the second run we ran was the RPOs. All right? I worked with a guy that Bob worked with at one time, Doug Barry. All right? Doug Barry was a former coach down here at the University of Massachusetts, had great success in the United States. He went to Canada, had good success as an offensive line coach, offensive coordinator, then became a head coach. Doug Barry taught me one important thing on the RPO. In practice, make your quarterback pull the ball. So he feels comfortable. He knows when he can beat that end. It's easy for him to hand it off. You say, well, he misread it. Or I thought this. We made our quarterback pull the ball, so in the game he knew what type of look where he could beat that guy. And an RPO in Canada is a little bit different than an RPO down here. All right? It's truly a run-pass option. With all our motions and everything, we're going to either hand the ball off if the end gives us a key to run it off, hand it off, or we're going to pull it. But when that quarterback comes out of there, he's got many combinations that he's looking for. We call them sallies. But there's a third option. That's a quarterback run. All right? Now, the highest paid players in the CFL are just like they are down here. They're quarterbacks. So a lot of coaches don't like that quarterback running out there on the perimeter too much. But those were the 2 plays we ran through the first 10 weeks of the season. Now, we dressed them up a little bit with motions and things like that, how we were handling the backside end, either with, you know, what we call a hack block or a slush block, whatever you want to call it, or a brick block where we brought a guy across formation. But those were the 2 plays we ran. And then when we got to a point where I said, okay, we can run the inside zone pretty well. All right? Then we went to our gap scheme. All right? And then we have a trap scheme. And that's it. I swear to you, that's it. I was really, you know, those auxiliary runs, shit, I'm sitting there saying, Coach, man, this is good, this is good, this is good. Then I sit there and say, now, wait a minute, your philosophy is you're going to be good at certain things. And Coach does a great job, and hell, they're good at it. All right? I'm not that good a coach. I can't teach all those schemes. All right? I get 4.5 hours a day with our players. That's what the Players Association allows you, which is crazy in professional football. But we're an inside zone team. We're an RPO team. We are a trap scheme and a counter team. That's what we do. And I believe this. Pro football is unlike, I believe, college football. And it's a lot like you guys have in high school coaches in here. Because we have salary caps. All right? And we can't go out and recruit players. As a coach, the general manager says, here's your players. All right? So we have to make our schemes fit the players we have. We have a very good running back right now, but he's a tackle-to-tackle guy. So those schemes right there fit what he does. When I was in Calgary, we had a great running back. All right? A really good running back by the name of John Cornish, who was a Canadian, but he played at Kansas. He was a great outside zone runner. We don't run the outside zone because our guy right now doesn't like it and he's not good at it. He wants to run between the tackles, so those are the things we do. All right? All right, last season, we ran 1,052 offensive plays. All right? The only time we are ever under center is in quarterback sneak. We even do victory in the gun. All right? That's just who we are. All right? And out of those plays, all right, then if you take 77 times we ran the quarterback sneak, you take those from the 1052, that leaves you with 975 run plays. So we have to be able to marry Bob's term, we have to be able to marry pistol and gun runs. You can see what we did. We ran the ball 313 times out of the 975 remaining plays. And this is 3-down football, remember. We were 179 times, or 57% in the gun, 36% in pistol. That ain't bad. That's a pretty good ratio in the run game. But I had to make sure that when we threw the ball, we had some balance there. We always weren't in the gun, which you would think you would be in running or throwing the football, but we still were in pistol 123 times. So it worked itself out. It gave us some balance. When we were in the pistol, we weren't only running the football. All right? And that helped us in that regard. All right? But why is it important? All right? And I already told you this, okay? We're an inside zone team, all right? As I said, a zone read team, a counter team, and a tackle trap team. All right? Why do you want to marry these runs up? It's really simple in my opinion. All right? The number one thing, when you're in the gun, you're telling people primarily where you're running. If the back is offset to the left, you're probably running it to the right if you're running the football. Now, you can run same or ugly somewhat, but you're not going to make a living out of running the back from the same side. All right? So you have to be able to mix the defense up. You know, I tell the story all the time. Anybody can play defense. I can go downtown Cincinnati and find, in our league, 12, in your league, 11 drunks, put a bottle of whiskey in the football, toss out there, say, go get touch them. They all run to it. I tell our defensive coaches that all the time. They get pissed off, but I believe it. All right? It's hard to play offense. All right? I can go and get anybody to play defense. All right? The second thing, okay, we get a lot of games and pressure opposite the back because they know we're running the football to the right when the back's on the left, so we're getting a lot of games over there. A lot of movements, a lot of things like that. Well, when you're in the pistol, it solves those problems. Number one, you can run either side. Number two, let them game. They got to guess. Are they running it right or they run it left if they want to run all these games? All right? The inside zone. It's really simple. Hat on a hat. All right? A hat on a hat. I got this from here a number of years ago. I still use the same deals. I still use the same terminology. We're going to read the first defender past the center backside. We're going to blink the backside defender. I forget who said it in here, but in 2001 somebody said that and shit, it stuck with me. Okay? We're going to blink that backside defender. All right? Pistol, we have two ways of running it. If we're in the pistol, we can open to the play and run it that side, or we can open with our back to the play. So, which it goes back to what Coach was saying, the handoff and the footwork. All right? It's the same damn play. The read now becomes different for the running back. All right? When we open to the play, okay, he's going to read the front side, the first defender. He's going to blink the backside defender. But when we open with our back away from it, he can't see that front side guy because the quarterback gives him the midline. So we read the first defender backside. Okay? If he pinches, we hug it to the outside. If he closes down or if he gets his ass blocked out, we're going to take it right over the center's landmark. And I'll show you these on film. All right? Okay? This is, this isn't Edmonton. This came from my playbook when I was in Calgary. This is what we call plays. We don't call them the same thing. But you can see it's just a zone play. All right? And we want to do the same thing everybody else is doing. We want to get movement on the line of scrimmage. I use this term all the time. It's better to have 2-on-1 than none on one. In other words, on the down people, I'd rather have two guys on them than nobody on them. All right? So a zone scheme is a zone scheme for us. The rules, they're just like your running zone. I believe this. The more guys you involve in the zone, the more you have. All right? So I like 2-man zones. I don't like 3-man zones. And I definitely don't like 4-man zones. But shit, the defense may declare that you have to do that. If it does, that's how you do it. So here's our blocking sheets and all like that. You can see that. I'm not going to go over that with you. All right? Coach, do me a favor. Can you get that film up? Now, we're having in Canada, we do things a little different, so help my man here, okay? Now, oops. All right, here we go. Why the right? Okay. Can you move that up at all? You can see, okay? All right. What I did here is I made some notes. Now, these are good and bad plays. I personally feel you learn more off of a bad play than you do off of a good play. So I put some bad plays in here so you can see what I'm talking about. All right. So here, these are gun plays for us, and then I'll tell you about pistol. All right, so I'm only going to run them twice, but we're going to read the first defender past the center. So it's this linebacker coming down. He goes inside, so we're going to press it to the outside. All right, and it's zone blocking everywhere else. All right? What do we tell the running back? First of all, we're lining him on the outside leg of the guards. It depends on our back. Sometimes the inside leg of the tackle. But we want our running back to stay as square as possible for the cuts. All right? Poor finish by the center, okay? Hey, if you can count in 5, you can run the zone. That's what I tell you. Can you count? They say, yeah. I say, all right, we can zone block then. All right? And that's why I'm saying it took us 10 weeks to learn how to count to 5. All right? Here, left guard, keep your play side arm out of it. But you can see what we're trying to do. Oops, sorry about that. I mean, it's not rocket science what we're trying to do here. All right? Here's what I'm saying. We have a good back, but he likes to keep it tackle to tackle. Okay? Coach made a great point. He said sometimes a 2 or 3 yard gain is a good play. All right? Hell, we're trying to be, I tell my guys, we're physical. All right? In 3-down football, there's no rule that says you can't be physical. All right? So we try to be as physical as we can. At 2 or 3 yard runs, I take 2 or 3 yard runs. Can't lie, I have a lot of them, but they'll open up to the 5 yard run, the 6 yard run. If our efficiency for us is 5 yards, we have to get 5 yards on a play. Our inside zone this year, we're 58%. That's what we want to reach. Our inside zone this year, we were 61% on inside zone, getting 5 yards or more. All right? All right. Block the line of scrimmage first. All right, this is what I said. I'd rather have 2 on 1 than none on 1. Here, we come off the line of scrimmage too early. We got to get movement on the down people. Great job by the running back of pressing the hole. Nothing changes. Press the hole, make your cut. Read the front side guy, blink the back side. Front side guy goes outside, cram it up in there. Blink him. He closes down, take it back. Okay? Hell, this guy's one of the highest paid players in the league. All right, Paul isn't here right now. He was on Paul's taxi squad for 2 or 3 years down here in Cincinnati. He's a Canadian. All right, but hell, look at him drop his head. Looking good. Bad by me. All right? Good job by our running back coach, though. Teaching that, huh? That's an offensive lineman taught that. Where you at, Prenny? There you go. Hell of a job by you. Yeah, I know you work on that. All right? Same deal. Okay, now here, this is what I'm saying. You're not going to make a living out of this, but you can do it running back on the same side. Some people call this ugly. All right, we call it same, being on the same side. So we're zone blocking to the left, running the thing on the left. And here's what I'm saying. We do different things, how we're controlling number 6 in the box. That's a receiver trying to block him. All right, now here with the same play. We're in the pistol. All right, it's a pistol run. Quarterback gives the back the midline. Okay? We're reading this first defender right here. All right, pretty good double. Cram it up in there. But our read becomes the backside defender. Here we're in the pistol. Okay? We're running the ball, zoning to the right. The left here on the screen. He's reading this defender. He went inside. He stayed right on the midline. Okay, here's what I'm talking about, the quarterback off the midline. He gives the running back the midline. Read the backside defender. We get push, cram it up in there. All right, Coach, next slide. All right. You just got to get it bigger again. How'd you do it? There you go. All right. Zone read or RPOs. Okay? Two simple rules. If you can count to 5, you can block the play. Number 6 is going to be handled by the quarterback. All right, we're going to read number 6. Never, ever turn back. That's coach's tracking. All right, and this is the number one thing my guys want to do. If their guy goes back, they slow down, they want to look back. I tell my guys, screw that. And we are not turning back on the inside zone. All right, we are running tracks. All right, never turn back. What I tell them, if the guy disappears, slow down. He's disappearing for a reason. Somebody's going to come there. All right? Okay? Read the same. The reads are the same. So for our running back, it's very simple. 10 weeks, our running back had a pretty simple job. All right? If you're in the gun, read the front side, blank the back side. If you're in the pistol, read the backside defender. Okay? There's the look how it looks. That was a Zorro or zone read is what we called it. All right? There's the play sheet, what it looks like. And you can see these points here. 2-on-1 is better than none-on-1. You can see that throughout. That's what I believe in. All right, Coach, go to the film. Okay, be right here. You got to go down to the zone read. Now there's a different clip. Can you go back to the... How can we get me there? There you go. See where it says zone read? Click on that right there. All right. Okay. Zone read is pretty simple, right? The read's upfield, give the football. Everything else, now there's a good job by, as far as we're saying, tracks. All right? We're really blocking out with these two defenders on him. He comes inside, the tackle stays on it. Okay? Now watch this one. This is against BC. They have two outstanding ends. The initial read as well, this is a pull key. Watch this end. He closes down, so right there, we're going to pull it. But all of a sudden now he goes back out, so the quarterback just runs it. And again, it's one of the higher paid guys in the league. We don't like him running a whole lot. When we get under center and run our 77 quarterback sneaks, a lot of teams will put in your third team quarterback to do it to not let him block, not get hit. Okay? Coach Princeton told me this. You know the difference between a good running game and a great running game? The running back. All right? That's the difference. All right? Right here is a pretty good running back. All right? This play is not well blocked. Yeah. Pretty good run. They don't always, kid's pretty good. That was our second back. All right? Okay, right here, this is a missed assignment. So in Canada, we can use all this motion and everything like that. All right, downhill. This guy right here, he's in the box. He's ours. All right, this receiver gets in there and blocks him. We're working to him on our tracks. All right, it works out because of the read. Okay. Now, what we're trying to do here, we're trying to bring this receiver over to run part of the route over here, or what we call the Sally, or your pass option off of this. He gets hung up. All right? The read is to pull it. That end closes down, pull it. But here, the inside zone run and the zone read, for my guys for 10 weeks, it was the same. It was the exact same deal what you were doing. All right? Now, here's something we learned in our all-season study. I don't know if you guys down here on RPOs get real wide ends. If you get wide ends, run it out of pistol that week. Don't run it out of gun, because it gives your quarterback a better chance to read it. Out of the gun, watch what happens. He makes the right read, but it happens too fast. Now, this is a pretty good end right here. But right now, you would think, hell, give the football. He's so wide, give it. But watch this guy accelerate. You're in the pistol. He can see that, turn the shoulder there, and now you pull it. So if we get wide ends this year versus Calgary, we're going to be in the pistol whenever we run the zone read play. That's what your off-field off-season film study can show you. So here we're in the pistol. All right? Quarterback's going to give him the midline. There he comes off the midline. Read that in. He closes, plus they're bringing another guy off the outside. Pull it. All right? This is when I was in Calgary, just to show you we've done the same thing. All right? Now, if we get a 2-eye on the backside, we're zoning to the right here. This backside tackle should use what I call shuffle technique. It's not a zone for him any longer. We're basing this guy, we're going to shuffle and read this. If this guy sits there by the second set of steps, if that guy has not moved, we're climbing to him. But by the second set of steps, if this guy goes outside and they exchange it, we're going to turn back. Right there, he was late. See, they're taking away the give, and they got somebody on the pull. So that tackle's not very good right there. Bob did a better job in coaching him. I had him, and then he goes as a free agent. Bob pays him a lot of money, and they did a hell of a job. Stanley, Brian. Look at Bob. Yeah, I did. Yeah, okay. Appreciate that. Appreciate it. The more better they play. All right, you go back. All right. So 10 weeks, that's all we did. Zone, read. Okay? Then we said, okay, we got to do something else. All right? We're decent at this. You can leave it like that. Okay, we're going to our counter gap scheme. Now, here's the beauty of how I think we do. We do it differently than anybody, or most people in our league. We want to get as many pullers as we can. Different pullers. So it's either the guard tackle, center tackle, guard fullback, or even a guard receiver. We get as many pullers, different pullers as we can in the counter game. 2 keys, the relationship of the first puller to the second puller, and the technique of the play side guard and tackle. I heard at this clinic, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, I forget who said it, but they were talking about if they got a read 3 technique, they were telling that guard to avoid that 3 at all costs and escape to the backside linebacker and down block that damn 3 technique. We do that. If we get a guy who we think is a reader, we're going to give him that inside, get away from me. I tell my guys, don't touch him. He closes down. He thinks it's coming, the pull, he thinks a trap or something like that's coming at him. It helps that tackle. If we get a guy who is a penetrator, we're now going to the conventional double team. All right? That's how we do it. Again, 1 or 2 things. You may not like it, but that's what I believe in. All right? Here's goofy. Okay, goofy. Real complicated. Guard and fullback. Okay? That's who the puller is. So we tag who the pullers are. All right? Now, as I say, the relationship of the pullers. I tell my second puller to be 1 yard behind and on the outside hip. All right? You cannot follow the guy. You cannot be right there behind him. You got to be on his outside hip to read what he does. And the running back has to be in phase with the second puller, not the first puller. We tell the running back this: use the second puller as your eyes. He will tell you where to run. Now, you're going to see a couple instances where that running back turns it up in there and the second puller's outside. And it's one of these. I'm hollering at Prinny all the time. What the fuck's he seeing? What's he looking at? Prinny tells me he just gained 10 yards. I say, good point. All right? So we let it go. But the first time it doesn't, I walk into Prinny's office and what do I say? That's right. That's exactly. He's giving me the finger back there. All right? So here's our rules, okay? The rules are the rules, like I said. Okay, here it is versus different looks, different combinations, what we do. All right? To the film, Coach. You're doing a hell of a job. All right? As soon as I complimented you, look, now you got the, okay, go to the counter. All right. All right. So here we're running it to the same side. Like I said, we're going to be, run it. If we're running on the left-hand side, we can run the counter to the right. We can, from the pistol, we can run it either way. Or if we're on the left-hand side, we can do it the same way. So this is from the same side. All right? So watch the running back. All right? So here we get a 2-eye. Okay, not a very good job by the right tackle, 67. Or excuse me, he's got to pin that guy. The 2-eye slants outside. Okay, not a bad job there. Getting to the second level, he gets too much on the nose. The center's got to keep that guy pinned. I'm not telling you anything you guys don't know as far as the counter, so I'll just shut up and let it run. But we like this same side deal. It breaks the tendency for us. It's a double tight end set, so you don't know where we're running it. Okay? Now, we do a couple different things with this guy. Sometimes we put him on the D gap defender. Sometimes we put him on the C gap defender, depending on what we think the play of this end is. All right, so here he's blocking out. We log. 58 looks pretty, don't he? Running, wish he played pretty. But he looks pretty running there. All right, again, pretty good job by the back. Teach who? Okay, well, here's what I'm saying to you. As far as, we do different deals here, right? You're talking about this block. Is that what you're calling a gap double? Okay. Well, versus a 2-eye, to be quite honest with you, we flat inside step and go vertical with the next step. We'd like to pin that guy. All right? If the guy crosses the face, we let the tackle take him. What I tell the tackle is step down through because it's all a gap. You've got any first defender in the what we would call the B gap here. This 2-eye slanted outside, so 67's got to pin him. His point of aim's for the V of the neck. All right, that's where his helmet should be. So he pins this guy. This guard, then, when he goes outside, he climbs the backside linebacker. The guy who I don't think's very good here is our center. All right, he's got to be able to pin that damn 3 technique. He lets the 3 technique come too far over, distracts this guard. He gets hung up on it, which he shouldn't, to climb to that second level. That answer your question? Okay. That little, see, he's getting too much involved there. He got to get up on that guy cleaner, and he doesn't get there. Okay. Now, this kid played at Miami. He came and played the last 6 games for us because of injury. He got to stay on course. Don't go out there. Shit, get to this guy. There's your guy. If that guy disappears, you've got the B gap to the second linebacker in the box. There's the second linebacker in the box. He gets distracted. We got a puller for him. We got that tackle pulling for him. There's where the running back is. I think that's a good read. Shit. You see air, you take it. There's grass there. Take the damn thing. Not a good job by by the second puller. He saw numbers. He cut it up inside. Here was when I was in Calgary. All right. This guy right here is playing in the NFL now. He was a rookie at this time. We played in the CFL for 2 years. He was a rookie of the year 1 year, lineman of the year the next year. Now he's with the New York Giants. Brett Jones. He's their 6th or 7th guy. He plays tight end for him sometimes. All right, but he's a Canadian. He was a pretty good player. This is him as a rookie. So we're pulling now. This is what we call CAT, real innovative, right? Center and tackle. This was a guy who was the MVP in the league for 2 years. Rushed for 2,000 yards 1 year, 1,800 the next. So all those analytics you got, that's pretty good. Okay, that's an old timer saying it. All right. How we want to do it? Yes, well, we will call CAT, and then we control it. The center makes the call. If he had a 2-eye here, all right, he would make what we call swag. The guys like those terms, swag. Swag means now it turns back to guard tackle. All right, if we get a 2-eye here, because it's hard for that guy to block a 2-eye with the center leaving. Here it's a 3 technique, so we can run it. So we start off running CAT, and the center controls it. Then if he gets a 2-eye backside, he'll make a call to swag. But everything else is the same. Here's what I'm talking about, Coach. You asked me. There it is, right? 2-eye comes here. That tackle's going to take it. He's going to work himself to the backside of the second linebacker. There's that big guy who didn't get it right the first time, getting it right this time. All right? Now, here's versus a 3-3 stack. You know, I don't know what you guys call it down here, but, you know, there's a 3-3 stack. All of a sudden, he's moving. It's CAT again. Shit, that guy ran himself out of the play. We've got to be able to block the backside. That's a receiver blocking it. Again, pretty good running back makes the play. Tackle here's wrong. If that guy, he's got the B gap. If that guy goes outside, the first puller will take him. You continue on course to the second puller. Coach Mudd, are you in here? Okay, this guy is Dan Fedical. He was up in Indianapolis when Coach Mudd was there for a couple years on his, I think, on the practice squad. All right. Now, okay, here's our guard and receiver pulling. All right. He's our Z receiver, so we call it Giz. 5 minutes, okay, I got to get going. All right. So here's what I'm talking about. Here, he's not in very good phase. He's too far away from him. He's got to close it down a little bit. But he's in pretty good relationship with the back. The back showed patience. Take it up in there. I want to get through these because I got 1 point left, or 2 points actually. Okay, here's a good job of using your second puller. So there it is again. Boom. One more and then we'll go to the next thing. Okay? First puller, all right? This isn't the guy he's responsible to block, but it's the first guy he sees. He's blocking the in man. Here we're blocking C gap. He's got the D gap defender. That linebacker shows first. Pretty good job by the back. Okay, go to the next slide, Coach. All right, this next one. Bob, you gave those analytic guys a couple minutes, so give me a couple. I'll get through this, I promise. All right. I'm sorry, those guys are good guys, I know it. Well, shit, okay. All right, this is a play we really like, tackle trap. All right, I don't know if you run this or not, but if you don't, I think you should look at this play. This is good from the same side. Some people refer to it as ugly. All right? Okay, from the pistol, it's another misdirection play. All right? The key is the play is having someone block the backside edge because of the depth of the running back. All right? Running back reads the first defender play side. It's real easy for the running back. All right, our running back loves this play. All right, so you can see we step the center to the nearest technique. If we get a 2-eye play side, center step and play side, working to the backside linebacker. We are trapping the first linebacker in the box. All right, we're trapping the first linebacker in the box. Okay? So, go to my deal here, Coach. Here we go. All right. Okay, so I'm going to let these run. Okay, same side. Okay, center step to the nearest technique. We're going to trap number 2. Again, it's an inside. This kid loves to run the ball between the tackles, so it's another way to run an inside play. All right, here's another one. Good exchange between the center and the play side guard. Here you got hard, mugged up linebackers. We're trapping this mugged up linebacker. Got to cram it up in there. And again, that's a 4 to 5 yard gain, but it's setting a tone. Not a very good job by our left tackle. He's soft. He's got a base drive it. Okay? Okay, we're running this block off of this defender. We pin that defender. There it is. He works out. Take it back inside. Now, if your tackles can run, you know, that helps you, obviously. All right? This is what you think of Canadian football right here, right? All right? This was in the Eastern Final. Ottawa beat us in this game. We didn't run the ball very well. They made it and won the Grey Cup. But here's the left tackle pulling. We're trapping this linebacker. I mean, there it goes up. I mean, you can see that seam. You know, this is what I'm saying. You have to have the backside edge block because it takes a little time to get there. One more and then I'll get out of this because I know my time's up. All right. Here we're running from the same side, so we're trapping this linebacker. We're basing, run it off the block of the 3 technique. Center's covered, so he's got to base block that. I mean, that's a pretty good run. All right. Coach, we will run that football play against any look. You're not getting us out of this play. Okay? All right. You can leave this up. Good. I know I'm up. All right. In 2004, at this very clinic. Okay, you're going to let me fancy it, huh? Okay, go ahead. Okay. At that time, Coach Looney, okay, Steve Looney, who I think's with Dallas now. Okay, he was the offensive line coach at Minnesota. And he made this statement. And you know how certain things stick with you? If you are a play caller, if you call the plays, you remember this saying. And if you're not a play caller, you try to get your play caller to remember this. He said, okay, I'll do it. If you don't run a play over 4 times a game, you're not doing your players or the play service. You're not giving your players a chance to be successful, and you're not giving the play a chance to be successful. As a play caller, I always try to remember that. I work for a great guy now. He's a young coach. He's a former quarterback. And, you know, and you can ask Prenny this. He'd say, what do you want to run? I said, the same play we just ran. All right? Because we're going to run it because those are the things we're good at. Guys, it's truly a pleasure and an honor to speak for you. I appreciate it.